Hey guys, Thunder E here, and welcome to our full review of this guy, the HTC 10, the latest smartphone from HTC. Now, it's been a while since HTC has dropped something on the market that we really loved, at least in my case, probably the M7. So it's about 3 years ago that we got an HTC device that really hits the mark, and already you can tell I like this device. So what HTC has done with the 10 here, the HTC 10 actually is the correct mark here, is created something that, first of all, design-wise, they've gone back to the basics. Now, it's still the same design language as the M9, the M8, even the M7 to a large degree, but it's more finalized, it's more fine-tuned. It really feels good holding this phone in my hands. 5.2 inches, feels comfortable, feels nice, doesn't feel like I'm like logging around something heavy. Now, if I have my Galaxy Note here, you can see it just size-wise, it's quickly comparison. But overall, feels comfortable, feels good. Now, in terms of the design, it's got that similar design look. The edges now have a slanted look to it all around. Gives a better grip, you'd be surprised though, with that here. As you look around the device, on the left-hand side is your SD card tray, which of course supports up to 200 gigabytes, and thank you HTC for giving us a 200 gigabyte card to actually enjoy with. And then on the right hand side you have of course the SIM slot, the volume, and the power. Now the power button has a different feel to it. It's got this kind of a rigid feel, so you actually know that's the power button, which is actually pretty cool. And then we bank up to the bottom here where we have a speaker grill, USB Type-C charging with fast charging, 30 minutes to 50%. And there's also audio that comes from the top. So audio comes from the top and the bottom here to give you high-res audio with Dolby Audio built into it. We'll get to the audio in a second. Trust me, this thing is absolutely fantastic. The top here is a headphone jack that has 3.5 millimeter headphone jack with a 24-bit DAC built into it. So which means you will get some really good audio. And what that means is that once you plug in your headphones, for instance, the first time you plug in your headphones, you're prompted with this option to actually customize the listening experience. And you'd be surprised how helpful this is. It actually shows you how you listen to sounds or tones on different sides of your ears, and you can calibrate it to actually match. And trust me, when you listen to music on this thing, it is absolutely fantastic. So for me, with the headphone wall, I can calibrate any single headphone I like into this thing, which is good. So I like that fact, and I love that's built into it in this here. Now it's powered by a Snapdragon 820 processor with 4 gigs of RAM. Built-in internal storage is 32 or 64. Now, before we even get to that, pricing is $700 for this device at 32, 64. Of course, it's slightly more. You can pre-order this device now for May release date. I'm not sure if the 64 gigabyte version is coming to the US. I know 32 is definitely available. Comes in 3 colors. You got silver, kind of white, and then of course the grayish black look. Those are not the correct names. You can check that out on the website. Now, in terms of performance with that 820 processor, yes, 820 is a beast. Gaming is really good on this thing, as well as also performance all around. Now, it did heat up a bit while gaming, which is to be expected, but also because of the metal body, I expected that more off the bat, but it does definitely stabilize as you keep going forward. So gaming on this thing handles very well. When we move to the front of the device, we have a 5.2-inch Super LCD5 display. Now, LCD5 is cool. I'm more of an OLED person, but it does a good job in terms of images, image quality, look. So I'm not complaining. It's a 2K display. It looks really good. It's really nice. Handles fairly well actually in daylight outdoors. So I think they've done a good job there. Now, the other things you find on the front of this device, of course, it's got a fingerprint sensor. It is fast, guys. It is really fast. You put your finger on there, it unlocks. It's really fast. And the home button acts as a fingerprint sensor. Now, here's my only gripe with that. Not the sensor, not the home button. It's because when you look at it like this, as you're looking at me on screen, you really can't see where that button is. I wish there was like a little silver highlight just to showcase that that's where it is. That's where the home button is. So it's just one of my only technical gripes there on that design feature. And when we move to the cameras, we've got a front-facing camera that's 5 megapixels and rear camera that's 12. Both of them have built-in OIS. I could elaborate more about the camera and talk to you about how good this camera is, but I want you to check out my full camera review because it really goes into detail on how good that front-facing camera is. And the rear camera, you've got some really solid images from both cameras, but also really good video quality all around. So I think you would like that, and low light capture is really good. So check out our camera review for the HTC 10 there. Now, battery life. Battery life it's got a 3,000 milliamp battery, so you should expect some really good battery life. I'll say it lasts about 24 hours or so, roughly. I've been using it to task for the last couple of days, and I've gotten past a full day with it, so I'm not complaining about that. I just wish it was slightly more. So I'll say between 24 to about 26 hours on use, but still, for a regular consumer, I think that's something that will last long and last pretty well. Now let's talk about software. Sense has been updated with Android 6.0. Has a couple of new features and a couple of new aspects to it. It's really fast and smooth. It's got blink feed on the side, which has been updated to feel a bit more in tune, more visual, and less cluttered. I like that about blink feed. Now, I'm still not a big fan of blink feed. I don't use it that much, so it's not something I'll use. But I think fans of blink feed will like the updates that's there. Now, when you move over to the software and you look into the app tray, again, it's very similar to what you expect, nothing crazy. The one thing I'll mention, there is no file manager on this thing, which I find quite surprising. I had to download one. So HTC, come on, you need to change that. You go into your settings for this device. You can see here, you've got a couple of options for power management, your fingerprint scanner, security, nothing crazy. HTC Boom Sound, of course, has a couple of options. You have theater mode. You've also got internal speakers, music mode, and cinema mode. So those are the two options you have. You have a few gestures in there, but when it comes to the audio, though, I do have to go back to the audio here. I apologize. You have to take a listen, just to the speakers alone. They sound really good. You're listening to music, it really captures it. It sounds great. Really robust sound altogether. I think a lot of people like it, so I'm just gonna keep quiet here and so you guys can listen. Now, some of the new features you would find with Sense is actually with theming. They've done a good job in changing the way themes are now presented. So of course you can customize your themes like you did before, but they also have something called freestyle themes where the themes look like wallpapers and the wallpapers are actually interactive. So you're looking at this image, hey, it looks like a wallpaper. It looks like, okay, that's a cool wallpaper from Thunder E. Well, we expect that. But then all those images are interactive. They become different icons on your screen. So that image there is the calendar. The other one there is, of course, which looks like Robocop is actually your Chrome. So all those things come into play, and I think it's nice. It's a different new feel altogether, and I think a lot of people like that. Now they've added a few things here in the tools sections where you have something called Boost. Now, Boost basically allows you to do, memory management and things like that. There is game battery boost, which I do like. Just add some more extra performance for you while you're gaming. There's of course boost in playing out applications, cache memories and things like that. I mean, all depends on how you perceive these app management tools, if they work really well for you. There's also an app manager itself, so you can go in and take out applications much faster and easier. So, I mean, it's nice, but it's nothing too crazy. On the software side, HTC didn't do too much to make things bolsterous or add a couple of things. I wish there was multitasking built in. That's just me, but hopefully that's added in the future. Now, to sum it all up, I've talked about the camera, I've talked about audio, I've talked about battery, I've talked about the phone as a whole. I have to say that I'm really impressed with what HTC has put forward with the 10 here. I think the 10 is a really solid device, the HTC 10. I think it has some really good performance. I think a lot of people will like what they see with this. I think this is a device that really transcends what HTC has been trying to do, and they bring something forth in the market that a lot of people will like. So if you're thinking about getting a new phone, HTC 10 should be in your category of selection, saying, hey, should I pick this up or not? I definitely like it. They've done a lot of good stuff with it. There are a few things I would like to see change as we move forward, especially when it comes to software. Nothing crazy, but just my minute changes altogether. So guys, any thoughts, any comments about the HTC 10? Let me know. Otherwise, don't forget to like and share this video, favorite this video. Also guys, don't forget we have a survey with a link down below, so you can give us some tips on improving the channel. We'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So just fill out the survey, it's pretty quick, it's like 5 questions, and we definitely appreciate it. So guys, subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner of your screen or in the description below. And this is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment.